Okay, so we're going to start colour mixing. So I'm going to take my 3 primary colours and I'm going to squeeze these out onto my palette. Now this is going to be my primary colour triangle. I'm going to reflect that on my palette by squeezing out a nice generous blob of magenta at the top, and I'm going to put my primary yellow over on the right hand side, and I'm going to put my primary cyan over on the left hand side. Okay, don't need to worry about my white yet. I'm just doing the primary colours first of all. Okay, so I'm going to take my paintbrush, just take a little bit of the primary magenta, and I'm going to just do a little swatch of colour at the top of my triangle. Now I always use a bit of paper towel to wipe the paint off my brush before I wash it off. And now you'll see, once I've wiped my paint off, I use my first water pot, and then I go into a second water pot. And as I explained before, this is just so that I've got absolutely no colour left on my paintbrush. And you'll notice that this pot, the first pot, gets dirty a lot quicker than the second pot if you do this correctly. And this method of just wiping off your excess paint onto a paper towel, it just is a really good way of not getting lots of paint into the water system, because you don't want to be pouring this down your sink. You want to find another way of disposing of this water, and the less paint molecules that we can get into the water, the better, really. So there we go. It's just a lot more helpful if we keep our water clean for longer. So I'm fairly lazy, so I like to do this method. All right, so moving on to the next colour, we're going to take a little bit of the yellow, just a little bit, we don't want to use too much. And I'm coming over to the bottom left-hand corner of the triangle. Now I'm just doing a little circle. It doesn't actually matter, you can just do a little blob or a squiggle or whatever you want, really. I'm just doing a circle because they're nice and easy to do. There you go. Dry off your paintbrush a bit because you don't want to add loads of water to these paints. Get your last colour over here, and you put down your primary cyan. So you want it, not too thin, because you really want to see the true intensity of that colour on there. Okay, wipe my brush. Right, we now have our 3 primary colours. Now the reason they're called primary colours is because they're made of only one colour. You cannot make the primary colours from other colours. So that's the reason that we need to have those 3 in order for us to make all the other colours.